One day, in the province of Şanlıurfa in Turkey's southeastern Anatolia region, farmers were working their fields. While plowing the soil with a plow, they kept hitting something hard at the same spot every time. The farmer's young son asked his father why these stones were not removed. The father believed that doing so would be a sin. The son, however, thought this was a superstition and began removing the stones. At first, a few people started digging. As they dug, they realized that the stone extended much deeper than they had expected. After a while, it became clear that this was not an ordinary stone. Beneath the soil, there was a massive stone pillar. In other words, people had been living for years without even realizing it, on top of a very great history. The situation was reported to archaeologists. Examinations and carbon dating studies showed that these structures dated back approximately 12,000 years. This made it the oldest known temple or ritual site today. The name of this place is Göbekli Tepe. It is located on a hill in southern Anatolia, Turkey. According to the scientific world, Göbekli Tepe began to make humanity rethink history with the studies carried out in 1994 by archaeologist Klaus Schmidt. Let's make a small comparison to better visualize the 12,000-year time period mentioned. The Great Temple of Tanjore was built about 1,000 years ago. Jesus lived about 2,000 years ago. The Egyptian pyramids were built about 5,000 years ago. Göbekli Tepe is much older than all of these structures. One of the points that makes this structure interesting is that for a long time, no evidence of permanent settlement was found around it. Normally, such large structures are seen together with cities or villages. However, for many years, no such evidence was found for Göbekli Tepe. Recent studies have made this picture somewhat more complex. Traces of non-monumental, simpler structures have been identified around the temple area. It is still unknown whether these were permanent residences or temporary shelters. However, excavation work suggests that the region may not have been only a temple area, but part of a broader area of use. Another striking point is the size of the stones. There are many pillars, each weighing approximately 20 tons. How these stones were cut, transported, and erected is not known for certain. At that time, there were no wheels and no metal tools. Despite this, the structure was built. On the pillars, there are animal figures such as lions, snakes, foxes, scorpions, and birds. The reliefs are quite detailed. Each pillar contains different symbols. There is no definitive view on what these symbols mean. In recent excavations, a human statue placed inside a wall was also found. This finding shows that human figures and symbolism had an important place at Göbekli Tepe. On some stones, headless human figures and large bird depictions are seen. Although it is not a definite fact, these are thought to be ritualistic or symbolic representations. What is most interesting during the excavations is that no human bones were found at all. This shows that this place was not a cemetery. The structure is thought to have been used more for worship or collective rituals. Research shows that Göbekli Tepe was used for about 1,000 years. That means many generations came here and used this area for certain purposes. Later, the structures were deliberately covered with soil. The main question arises right here. Why did these people bury an area that they had used for centuries? Was this done as a method of protection, or was it the result of a cultural change? There is no clear answer to this. Today, only about 10% of Göbekli Tepe has been excavated. Most of the site is still underground. This means that future excavations may bring new questions and new answers. Göbekli Tepe is no longer evaluated on its own. It is considered together with surrounding sites such as Karahantepe. This shows that a much more advanced and organized culture than we previously thought may have existed in the region 12,000 years ago. In conclusion, Göbekli Tepe reminds us of this. Human history may be much older and much more complex than we think. And perhaps there are many stories whose answers are still hidden beneath the soil.